no need for us, I think. The reason that we did not make the changes on the plans, because I believe, or I think you could say that you suggested that we not make the change until we at least come here tonight so that we make it at one time. Nobody, no engineer, like no attorney likes to see redrafted documents, revised. We'd like to do this all at one time and everything. Obviously, under the stormwater management on page 4, that would fall very heavily on whether or not the township is willing to relieve us of the responsibility of the HMO and then accept the ownership of the basin, knowing that it ties in, and of course you're going to have...
Again, that's not part of the yard jurisdiction here.
I understand that.
Well, is there a new, is there a new basin in this project?
Yes,
Okay.
the blue area.
See, there's a lot of, hasn't the DEP changed the regs to, I mean, aren't they strongly discouraging any municipal ownership of basins? And don't we want them all owned by HOAs now?
No,
I think it's going the opposite
they just
way.
don't want to own by
No.
individuals.
They've specifically, the DEP has specifically, regs this year say that they want them owned by HOAs. So, you know, my concern is, you're gonna have an HOA for this one, but not for the other one.
That's why we want the township to accept it. I mean, we'll have to go, well, understand, Mr. Chairman, let's say we are unsuccessful. This board could accept it in either or. You could accept the plan. Who owns the basin really is something that we would have to take up almost as an outside agency. You can approve this plan. If we said tonight, we'll do an HOA, a homeowners association. What, I don't think.
That's correct. If you were gonna do an HOA, the
Yeah.
board could approve that.
Yes.
But the board, and I don't think the state is inclined to have the municipality take on basins any longer.
Well, if you have that, Frank, if I might, your water's not going to flow into our basin.
It does right now. The water does flow into the
I
basin.
think the issue would be, though, that this board, whatever we're going to look at tonight needs to be on that plan that we're supposedly going to look at.
Right.
And in my mind, I'd like to know whether it's municipal-owned basin or a HOA, so we know how to deal with it at the end of the project.
Right.
And at least it makes a little difference to me who owns it, how it's going to be maintained,
Sure.
and all of that.
We don't deny that. We'll probably have to go to the township committee to make our pitch. And to answer your question, it does flow in there. Right now, today.
Well, not what you're talking about, not a collection of water, just stream.
No, what we're talking about is better for you. And we can demonstrate that, and your professionals review that and evaluate that. I think that what we're saying is that,
Brian, have you seen those pipes that are there now?
Yes.
Okay, with the flows that are coming off that ground, is there water going into that basin?
Into the other basin? Yeah, that's the way it goes now.
Okay, so there is water going into the basin? Okay, from that property and Cornerstone?
That's correct.
Okay, all right.
From a procedural perspective, though, tonight, right now, we're dealing with completeness. And is the only item that's not submitted the environmental impact statement?
Yes.
yes. Oh, sorry, I was reading your letter. I don't think you changed your mind since June.
There's also no traffic committee, right?
I don't believe the traffic was required based on the,
The trip counts, yes.
right. But I would say that Mr. Hirsch gave testimony, I guess, what you call it, regarding cul-de-sac. That would be certainly something that would be beneficial for the board to understand the purpose of the road, the through road.
But trust me, if this board doesn't understand that, they don't understand anything.
I might say also that we're desperately trying to get that road approved before the state changes its wetland rules. Because if they change the wetland rules, they propose $300,000 an acre in compensation if we're damaging about 2/10 of an acre. So they're going to be looking at an additional $60,000 in possibly in.
Next plan might see.
I don't necessarily, from my perspective,
we're moving
It
that.
doesn't affect,
I don't necessarily see the great benefit, but perhaps that's why we need documentation.
Well, we'll take a look, hard look at that, trust me.
So I just want to let you
Because
know
that's a $500,000 road you're looking at right there that we don't need.
There's a house on that road, you see the house that you have to.
Yes, there's one, yes.
Right.
There's
so they can come off of Georgetown Road. single lot.
Well, Commissioner's Howard's
Well, I would,
talking about like it wasn't a lot.
Right here.
Oh, no, he said they could do a minor or something.
No, we would just come in from this direction because you do want to solve some, we're not looking for 2 lots here.
You're looking for one.
Here's, I'll tell you what the problem that was created. Again, they were trying to resolve an issue that is troublesome to this municipality. There were deeds issued on this property. This property owner thought that he had the right to build his garage, which now is an encroachment on this lot. We're foregoing any use of this lot other than possibly to resolve the encroachment problem. What we could do is come in here, eliminate this road, and put a cul-de-sac right back here, wind up with the homeowners association, and we've got a much more simplified plan, but you don't have your traffic resolved. But that's, I understand that.
well, from a procedural perspective, the first thing the board has to do is decide whether or not they're going to deem this application complete or incomplete, based on the requirement of the amended environmental impact statement. If you deem it incomplete, the applicant will submit the materials that you requested and be rescheduled.
Yeah, we got a lot of information and made a lot of progress tonight. I think what the mayor maybe is suggesting, maybe we should come to the township committee and get a sense of trying to, because now you know our situation is that, and we maybe cleared up a lot of misconceptions as to what's happening. Water is going there now. We're going to
There's
resolve
no
that.
doubt that we're going there. It's just how it's going to get there and what happens to it after.
Absolutely.
Can I ask you a question? When you say that water is leaving, this project which you intend to build is already leaving there and going to Lakeview Woods? Where?
Why don't you show what happens to the waters? Let's imagine that none of the roads and none of the lots exist and the basin doesn't exist. So, and I think that what Joe's asking is what's happening right now if you have a rainstorm, correct?
Correct.
And
This is the lot that has no house on it.
Exactly. I knew what you're talking
Just to the left of that or to the north of that, there's a storm sewer inlet right on that lot there.
about. On that lot.
On that lot and lot 14, right on the property line. It collects the water from the northerly part of the site. There's another inlet, 2 inlets that are down across from in lot 8 and lot 10 in the backyards there.
But are those lots on the new project, or are they on Lakeview Woods?
No, they're on Lakeview Woods.
Lakeview Woods, they're not on this project.
No, they're not on this property, but the water from this project is running into those inlets and going to the pond. What I was trying to say, I'm sorry. No, there's no pipes.
There was
Pipes were not
water.
built on this property, it's not owned.
There was water pre-construction going there.
That's correct.
They collected it, put it into the basement.
Into the pond in Lakeview. This property was not owned at the time that the original application was submitted and approved. So we couldn't go on that.
You put it there to stop it from flowing through
Flowing through
the
all these
structures
yards.
and the houses that you.
That's correct, through the side yards of the.
Because you would have had other issues.
Yes, we would have some major issues. Yes. That's why they're there. But there, I believe there's 3, 1, 2, 3 inlets that are out there right now. And they're on lots 8, 9, 10, and 15.
For the most part, you're intending to intercept what used to go there.
Yes.
That's part of it. There are some backyards that do go into Lakeview Woods, but from the perspective, the positive for the applicant is that some of the water that was previously going through Lakeview Woods is going to be intercepted. Certainly considering that against where it's going, we have to understand that it's not going to cause a problem there, and that's really the need for the EIS.
And then the state regs say that I can only give 50% of the water in a 2-year storm, 75% in the 10, and 75 in 100. So I have to meet those requirements with these new basins in what goes to the pond that's already there in Lakeview Woods. So I have to put less water into that pond by the RSIS and state rules than goes there today. So that's just a mandate that I can't get away from that. So that pond has to, our proposed drainage system has to meet very specific standards on how much water it can deliver to that pond. Even if I wanted to